This is our league, and this is your league. From the 55-yard line on CFL America Radio and the Sports History Network.
It'll be the first time since 1985 that they've lost 2 consecutive games.
We were 6-5. We sucked.
Kiss their playoff hopes goodbye.
A team that was as talented as any team in the league was absolutely falling apart at the seams.
Bill Walsh said, "What's wrong with this team?" I think the team's off balance because we haven't set on the quarterback, and the quarterbacks feel it. You got to pick one. He got up and left. He was angry. I don't know if he wanted to hear that, but he came back in the room. He goes, "Okay, Joe Montana will be our quarterback."
Joe Montana is quarterbacking now. Magic that Montana must have. Where were they hiding the secret weapon, Joe Montana?
Throwing in the end zone.
Back to throw Montana. Touchdown!
Joe Montana has been voted most valuable player.
Welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco tonight. A key matchup in the NFC. The Washington Redskins and the San Francisco 49ers. 2 teams now in trouble. They are both 6-5.
There are moments in a season where, the season is kind of on the brink. You're right on the edge. This was going to be the game that was going to determine what was going to happen. You could feel it.
Sometimes, you have to rely on your guys to be better than the other guy.
Montana throws long for Rice. He's got a touchdown, 49ers.
That's the 49ers. They have to get the ball to Jerry Rice.
And that's not the official Bill Walsh put the ball 12 inches in front of the numbers or this number if the defender's over here, but just try to get something rolling, something happening.
It did feel like a must-win, another loss, and we were going to be out. I remember vividly thinking that we were breaking out of our slump.
Montana on a roll to his right. Has room. Touchdown, he's in there. And you bet he's made a statement.
And there seems to be a little football left in Mr. Montana.
That Monday night game, that's when it started for us. Once we got on that roll, and it was like, this is the way it needs to be.
Back to throw Montana. Out in front is Rice. In there, he got it.
When those things start happening, now momentum starts to change a little bit. And then you can feel it, the team feels it. Now everybody's a lot more excited.
In trouble, slips, falls, lobs it to Craig. Touchdown, 49ers.
The 49ers moved as Joe did, finally free from the doubt as to who was their leader. The team began to flow.
We started playing free and loose and unencumbered, and it was magical.
Once cemented as the starter, Joe led the 49ers to 4 straight victories.
Montana back to throw. Has Taylor wide open. 45, 40, in front, 30. Touchdown, 49ers.
The late surge placed San Francisco in a playoff rematch with the Vikings, the team who beat the Niners in the postseason the year before.
49er program now, playoff program.
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Tell you, that loss last year, they lived with that one for a year, and you talk about a chance to get back, this is it.
We're in the playoffs. We got to win a couple games. And you know that it's now or never.
The reverse to Rice with some room and some blockers. Rice for about the 9. And that one blocker you were talking about was Joe Montana. I watched 16. Montana's going to be the leading guard out in front of him.
The 49ers hadn't won a playoff game in 4 years. Joe made sure that drought would end.
Montana back to throw. Throws. Touchdown 49ers, Jerry Rice. Well, Montana ends a streak of 3 playoff games where he didn't have a touchdown pass. Montana rolling out to his right. In trouble. Throws. Touchdown 49ers, Rice. Right at the flag. A brilliant throw by Montana.
Montana yet to throw a pass that wasn't complete. Joe Montana is about as hot as a quarterback can be.
Montana looks, throws. Touchdown, Rice. And Montana threw him a perfect pass.
Joe Montana, I think, has been waiting for this one. There is a happy coach and a happy quarterback.
After we beat the Vikings, we're in the locker room and we're kneeling down after the game.
And Joe stood up and got everybody's attention on that team.
Every single guy in that locker room was dead quiet. And to hear that voice was remarkable.
I don't say very much in these things, and you know that. But one thing I have noticed, the teams that have beaten another team by a big margin have come back the next week and played terrible. And that is not going to happen to this ball club. I ain't bull. We've opened the door. We're going to go through it next week, and we're going to kick ass and take no prisoners the week after.
Might have been my only speech ever, just to make sure that everybody understood that, well, we're going to play a better team next week. And that's the game that will get us where you want to go.
He was just saying that, hey, look, yeah, we won, but we got more ahead of us.
It starts here, and we're going to the end. We're closing every door. We're not asking nobody no questions.
I remember it striking me as, all right, hell yeah, let's go to Chicago.
We're at Soldier Field in Chicago for the NFC Championship game between the 49ers and the Bears.
It's not cold enough out here.
They represented everything that we weren't. We were lightweights. We threw the ball. We weren't physical. We had this frail little quarterback.
The wind chill factor 33 degrees below zero.
It is freezing cold. Guys are like trying to put on like 18 layers, and Bill's going, don't overdress. Whatever you do, don't overdress. And then right before we go out to the game, he goes, guys, I want to tell you one thing. We have to go out there for 60 minutes. Those poor bastards got to live here. And so everybody laughed and kind of broke a little bit of the ice.
Montana on third down, back to throw. They rush, he steps up, he throws, has Rice open, he makes the catch, he gets away at the 40, it's a foot race, 30, they won't touch him, it's touchdown, 49ers!
49er touchdown from 61 yards away. I thought that throw by Joe Montana was one of the best throws I've ever seen him make.
The Bears were good. They'd come with all these blitzes and he'd figure it out, and you always felt like he's got an eye in the back of his head.
That was the philosophy going in there to handle that defense. Keep pressure on, keep pressure on, keep pressure on it. It's hard to play that kind of defense the Bears wanted to play and leave Jerry and John one-on-one.
A blitz showing by the Bears. Montana throws. He has Rice. He's got it. Touchdown, 49ers. They beat the Bears blitz. Jackson on single coverage on Rice on a slant in, and Rice had him beat by 2 steps. Rice was open all the way. You know that Montana's eyes lit up immediately when he saw that.
I think that Joe Montana, these last 2 weeks, has put on a quarterback coaching clinic.
49ers leading 14-3. A touchdown here could just about seal it off. Montana back to throw. Rolling out, looking, throwing, touchdown, 49ers.
You can pick anybody in the world to have done that. There's only one, there's one human that could pull that off.
In the frozen tundra of Chicago, where the dreams of visiting playoff teams die, Joe and the 49ers thrived.
In my mind, this could have been his greatest game under the conditions, under the pressure. With all he had to prove, this may have been his best game.
Joe, how's this year's Joe Montana different from the one that beat the Bengals back in 1982?
I'm older. That's about it. I hope.
Ava's missing. Why wouldn't she tell me she was going? She talks all the time about taking a trip here.
What if Ava's not missing? What if someone else knows what she has?
This is the only one I've ever seen, and I can't let them have it.
I don't know if this is worth your life.
Get your personal points plan. I'm James Corden, and I'm here to tell people that WW is getting even more personal. Keep on shopping, ignore us. I've lost like 28 pounds.
You look great.
I love that my clothes fit better, but I just love ice cream a little bit more than that. The new WW personal points program is particular to you. So what kind of foods do you like?
Avocado.
Ice cream.
Sandwiches.
No food is off limits.
When can I start?
Get your first 3 months free at WW.com. Hurry, offer ends February 28th.
Joe would not be the only one in the family working at the Super Bowl. Jennifer was also on site as a TV host.
This is what we hope to see Joe doing a lot this Sunday.
And this is the jersey we hope to see him wearing on Sunday. This is a very special shirt. Jennifer got this for me, and it's actually Joe's, right?
That's right. He wore it in the last Super Bowl, so I'm hoping it brings him the same kind of luck.
He can wear it this Sunday.
It turns out he did.
Everybody thought I wore a different jersey for all the Super Bowl games, but she put that one back in into my luggage.
I didn't tell him anything. I just put it at the bottom of his bag.
And I was opening up going, what is this? And there was a little note.
I knew it would mean a lot to him, to just the thought of winning with that jersey and the thought that I'm going to wear it again and this is going to help me get over the hump. I just knew it would mean so much to him.
If you look, you'll probably see a little difference in the stripes on the sleeves, and that's the reason why.
For San Francisco, the key is Montana. You've got to break him out of his rhythm. And you don't beat Joe Montana mentally. You've got to beat him physically. You've got to get some heat on him.
No one knew that better than Bengals head coach Sam Weish.
Well, Joe is hot, so let's cover him. He's throwing good warm-ups. I guess that means something.
For the first 4 years of Joe's career, Weish had been his quarterback coach.
Playing Sam, he knew us like the back of his hand. He taught me the basis of everything I knew. Playing against him was like playing against your best friend, and there's nothing better than being your best friend.
Montana to Rice. One-handed catch. Oh, my.
Here comes a bomb out of here. They're going to throw it deep.
He throws deep.
The Bengals could not stop Montana to Rice. They connected a Super Bowl record 11 times for 215 yards. Despite their impressive stats, the 49ers did not score a touchdown in the first 3 quarters. The Bengals found the end zone first on a big play from special teams. Down by 7 in the fourth quarter, the 49ers were poised to tie the game.
Montana to throw, steps back, throws for the end zone, intercepted. No, Rock. Holy mackerel, that was almost intercepted by Phillips. He had the ball in his hands and dropped it in the end zone.
He had it. He had it. You can't drop that one.
It was a little bit behind where I wanted to throw it, and it caught the guy off guard, and he dropped it.
Well, Phillips almost had a drive-killing interception. That would have been a major blow.
On the very next play, the Bengals learned never give Joe Montana a second chance.
He's back to throw. Quick pass for Rice. Touchdown, 49ers. Montana lofted it up for him immediately. Rice turned around, and there it was for him. Thrown perfectly to Rice.
With the score tied at 13, Sam Weiss knew what was coming next. The Montana magic he had seen so many times before.
This is deja vu. Deja vu.
Okay, let's come back and match it now. Halfback 28, Grace. Alert for a birdie call. Alert for a check birdie.
Weiss may not have had Joe Montana, but he did have the reigning NFL MVP, Boomer Esiason, who moved the Bengals into field goal range.
This is the Bengals shot to win the Super Bowl right here.
How long is this? 40 yards. Can you make this? We're all right. We're all right.
The ball is put down. The kick is away. It is long enough, and it is... Jim! Preacher hit from 40 yards out. The Bengals take a 16-13 lead. Oh, baby.
And now with 3:10 remaining, the 49ers will have to go from their 8-yard line.
A teammate of mine, and I won't say who, said, "We got them now. They haven't moved the ball all day. We got them now. It's going to be party time tonight." And I
The 49ers trail by 3 points, 16-13. They've got to go 93 yards.
I'm pissed off. I'm like, man, these guys are terrible. We should be killing the Bengals. This is bull. What are we doing?
Trailing, and with time running out, tensions were high in the 49ers huddle. No one was feeling it more than right tackle Harris Barton.
Harris Barton, to say he was uptight would be like an insult to piano wire.
Harris Barton, he was our people watcher. So during the week of Super Bowl, once you get into the Super Bowl city, Harris was like a little kid coming up to you, telling you how excited he was about all the celebrities he had seen. And when you get in the game, though, Harris he's pretty anal.
Joe recognized at that point in time that I was out of control.
He was like humming. He was vibrating. He was so nervous.
And he goes, "Hey, H." I go, "What?" He goes, "Look down there in the other end zone." And I look down there.
I said, "Hey, H, man, there's John Candy."
And Harris is funny. Harris is like,
"Oh, yeah, that is John Candy. Look at that."
It's typical Joe. Just to take everybody's mind, and especially Harris's, off the importance of that drive, just to remind them, this is a game. Let's go have some fun.
This is the Super Bowl with the clock winding down. Now you're talking pressure, guys. They've got to go 93 yards. Montana trying to drive them the length of the field here with the game in the balance. Montana throws, sideline, right, 30-yard line. Joe back to throw, steps up, throws. Out here for right, he has it at midfield.
This is Joe Montana. I have seen this act before. Just go ahead and score and leave us a minute or something where we got a chance to go back the other way.
Get some movement in there. Don't just two gaps. You'll peck us apart.
Throws over the middle. A fine catch by Wright. Right into the 20. He's down to the 19 for a first down for the 49ers. Joe back to throw. He completed the 10. He's down to the 10.
As he made his way down, I remember thinking, this is amazing. And I'm standing 5 inches from it. And I'm conflicted because, this is, in some ways, it's super hard. But in another way, it kind of brings a tear to your eye.
Well, Montana with the 49ers now 10 yards away and 39 seconds remaining. It's such a sight to watch this absolute surgeon on the football field and one of the all-time greats. It's almost like poetry. Back to throw Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown, 49ers! A 10-yard pass. The
history, the best big game quarterback I've ever watched play.
I sat there in those stands not really realizing the impact of what this last drive would mean, but I never doubted when I should have been doubting, are we going to win or whatever. It just never entered my mind that they were going to lose.
That's the Joe. That's the Joe we know. There's nothing surprising about it, and yet when you look at the masterful way it was done, that kind of represents who he is.
They put me in the tight end position and brought Jerry in motion across. So you know everybody's figuring it's going to go to Jerry.
Coach, you're going to go. You know, it's to Rice now.
I'm coming across in motion, and I'm just looking at him. I'm saying, you guys are just suckers right now.
I think all the eyes were on Jerry Rice, but not Joe Montana's. He had Taylor all the way into the end zone.
Montana the Magician had the whole crowd looking here, while the magic was happening there. John Taylor's catch was his only reception at the Super Bowl.
Crazy sometimes, but hey, JT's pretty good. I didn't see the narrow holes that were hands that were going. I just saw JT, he's in the right spot, and I just stuck it on him.
It wasn't going to be one of those, you're looking here and all of a sudden it's a bullet down here. It was like, perfect.
The idea that I watched the greatest football ever played, yeah, I get that. What I just saw, you can stay. I might have to go somewhere else because that was amazing.
I think it's safe to say, Joe, without throwing any excessive hearts and flowers your way, that you go down as the greatest big game quarterback in NFL history. How sweet is the feeling after an up and down season where people wondered whether you were over the hill?
Makes it that much sweeter for us all. Not only for myself, but at 6-5, everybody was counting us out, and it's great to come back and win it this way, I'll tell you, believe me.
Joe Montana, as cool and poised as he always is, Bill, he has been an unbelievable performer under pressure.
Well, he could be the player of the decade, I'll tell you that. He's been a great champion, a great performer. And if you could see how cool, absolutely cool and poised he was through that final drive, you wouldn't believe it.
Walsh won another title with the quarterback he had doubted. Joe rewarded his coach's faith. While Joe's position was no longer in doubt, Bill Walsh's future was.
This is a tough moment in a way because was this the final game on the sideline for a great coach, Bill Walsh? Emotional moment right now with the coach down here inside the locker room, Jack.
For him to step away from that team, it must have taken a lot. I saw nothing but great things going forward for us, and I was in total shock.
In Bill Walsh's final season as 49ers head coach, a volatile quarterback controversy ended in celebration. Joe did not hold a grudge against his coach for wanting to replace him in his prime.
Were you relieved at all when he left?
No, I wasn't relieved at all. I really wanted him to stay. I mean, he was a great mentor, on the field, off the field. Sad to see him go.
Damn! Wow! Oh, Viv! Let's go find you something fit for a print.
I made you look.
Yo, Uncle Phil! Carlton! I hope we can talk about why you're really here.
Why are we working so hard to save a boy who doesn't want to be saved?
Because we owe it to him.
A real man knows when to make the most out of a second chance.
Be the Will who charmed West Philly.
There's no going back. Made you look.
By the late 1980s, the 49ers reached a level of success that transcended sports. Their fame attracted celebrities across the entertainment world.
It was fun to be a part of that. We were all in the right spot at the right time. You know, a lot of the people that were on our sideline were from the Bay Area, so it even made it better.
Of all the celebrities that frequented the 49ers games, there was one that turned into more than just a guest.
There was something special about Huey. His personality was fun. The kindness that was there all the time. I could probably sing every song. Not that you want to hear it, but every song he has.
I think I first met Joe and Dwight at the Bay Area Music Awards. We met backstage, and jokingly, I invited him to our show, and they said, no problem, we'll trade you tickets. And so we kind of hit it off pretty well.
Joe and Dwight were really close to Huey.
My hero! My hero!
Huey and the guys were like members of the team without uniforms.
Oh, yeah!
They sang the national anthem quite a few times.
It was always a good sign when you knew Huey and them were singing the national anthem. A, because they could do it a cappella better than anybody else, and B, because we always won when they sang the national anthem.
It was a kind of parallel career there for a long time. We were having sort of parallel careers. They'd win, we'd win, like that. It was fun.
With the advent of MTV, Huey was huge nationally. And it was great to have him around, you know, because Huey, he was like Joe. He was self-effacing, he was funny, he was real. For Huey and his band, they were like, oh, Joe Montana and Dwight Clark are here. This is so cool.
As big as the 49ers were on the field, Huey Lewis and the News were just as big off it. For their newest hit single, they brought in a secret weapon.
That's actually the 49ers on the record. Joe, Dwight, Ronnie, and Ricky Elson. They're the four players that sang on Hip to Be Square. Just four of them. And they sang here, there, and everywhere. Like twice. Here, there, and everywhere. Hip, hip, hip to be square. That's the actual 49ers on the record.
Dwight had sung with Huey before, but the rest of us, we hadn't done this before, so we had to catch Joe up a little bit.
Sad to say that there was one person that was really flat in the group, and then once I started lip syncing, everything was okay.
It's kind of a neat thing because they're the 49ers, but it's also a sound. It's very hard to replicate because they're big guys and they got big voices. And it just sounded like a 1,000 people. You know, it was fantastic. It just seemed like a kind of a cool thing to do.
Into the enormous gulf left by the exit of Bill Walsh stepped new 49er head coach George Seifert. He was determined to do at least one thing differently.
1989, this whole thing about Joe and Steve, and that was not how George wanted. George was black and white.
Yes.
You know, the stirring, it was gone.
We want this man in, that man in, and so forth, and you can't do that.
George was not going to have any of it. In his mind, whoever's the starter, that's it, and then whoever's the backup, you get a couple plays at the end of practice maybe, and that's it.
In 1989, the San Francisco 49ers quarterback position belonged solely to Joe Montana. To be the champ, you've got to beat the champ. In Philadelphia, one of the greatest defenses of the 80s tried to do exactly that.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Starkey at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Is this the team of the 80s against the team of the 90s today?
The defending Super Bowl champions coming east, and they take on the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles.
Philly's defense was huge. Reggie White alone by himself would have been enough, but the guys surrounding him were monsters.
Safety blitz. Montana back to throw. He wants it all. Rice is out there. Touchdown 49ers.
Throw a long touchdown to Jerry right off the bat. And in my mind, I'm going, wow, this is going to be easier than I thought. They're going to blitz. We're going to play man-to-man. I'm going to have one-on-one. Yeah, I'm going to get hit a couple times. Little did I know how many times I picked myself up. I was on the ground more times that day than any other time.
The Eagles had the most intense defense. Buddy Ryan had him in the 46, and we could not block it. The Eagles sacked him 8 times.
That game, to me,
It was just typical Joe. You're knocking him around. Joe is never going to point any fingers.
Reggie White gets him.
You know, if he got knocked down, he would just get up. He's Joe Cool. Nothing could rattle that guy.
Tom Brady never played in a game like that, where he was physically beaten.
The Eagles are on him. He's sacked.
But the best of all time wasn't getting happy feet in the pocket, wasn't looking to run, wasn't throwing the ball out of bounds, was standing in the pocket, stepping up, completing the ball down the field, and taking abuse.
I knew Joe Montana was a tough guy, but that was remarkable.
Montana just does not have time to get his game going because all the pressure on the passing attack.
Down by 11 in the fourth quarter, Joe and the Niners were bruised but not beaten. San Francisco's new coach came up with a new plan.
George Seifrick said, go with the 4 wide receivers. No tight end, 4 wide receivers.
4 wide receivers set for the 49ers.
Went to 4 wideouts, right down the field. They can't stop us if we spread them out. That's what we did.
Back to throw Montana. The blitz is here. He gets the ball away, though. It's up the right sideline. And breaking loose and going to go all the way. Taylor will go. It's a touchdown for the 49ers.
Montana never saw it. He remained on his back.
In that formation, we only had like 6 plays. It was the same plays over and over. My instincts were, we can't keep running the same plays. But I'll be darned, he kept hitting it, boom, 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 boom. And we started just going and going.
Touchdown 49ers.
And he was remarkable and showed great toughness.
Montana goes downfield. He's got Jones. Touchdown 49ers.
The San Francisco 49ers, trailing 28-17 just moments ago, have reclaimed a lead.
When Joe and the offense got the ball back, all they needed was a first down to put the game away.
3rd and 4th, a first down could bury the Eagles.
When we get a lead, George, he's basically trying to run the clock out. We call it a little read route by the back. And the back comes out of the backfield, and if it's zone, he'll just sit down. He had the first down. I let the ball go. I threw a go to Jerry. You can see George go.
Deep route for Rice. Touchdown! Oh, my gracious!
And he said, "You're so lucky that was a touchdown." I said, "I know."
That one game, in my mind, makes Joe Montana the greatest that ever played.
227 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's in the fourth quarter.
Guy just responds to pressure.
Unjunk your sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Right now, get a king for a queen or a queen for a twin and save up to $500 on our wide selection of top-selling brands. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase up to a $4.99 value. Or shop Hot Buys and get up to 50% off, like Sealy twin mattresses starting at $224.99 or Sleepy's twin mattresses starting at $159.99. In stock for fast delivery, only at Mattress Firm.
We open up the game with 51X spot, flanker cross, red left slot.
I get traded to Green Bay. Mike Holmgren, his former coach, comes in, and now I'm studying Joe Montana film. If you wanted to put training tape on and see how to do something absolutely 100% perfect, accuracy, footwork, timing, decision-making, the guy was Joe Montana. It was good training tape, but it was also bad because I can't be this perfect. He's there, and I can get maybe just outside the door, but I'm not going in. That's how good he was.
All right.
Years before molding a Hall of Fame quarterback in Green Bay, Mike Holmgren was finding ways to perfect one in San Francisco.
You want to come right back here, comfortable, the ball's here.
For 3 years, Mike Holmgren had been the 49ers quarterback coach. In 1989, with Bill Walsh gone, he took over the play-calling duties as the new offensive coordinator.
Down there, go quick fly. Go quick fly.
I had to be careful I mean, because all of a sudden you're given the reins, and in hopes of trying to help Joe, what do you do to a great player like that to maybe help him a little bit? And I looked through his interceptions. I studied what ball he threw most interceptions on. And there was this one play, and it was a favorite play. It was called deep over.
Montana to throw, that's going to be intercepted.
It kind of appealed to the quarterback's want to throw the big one. He never threw a lot of interceptions, but that was the one play that he threw most of his interceptions on. And I said, we're taking this play out. And they went, what? You couldn't believe it. I think it helped.
Mike was a tremendous teacher, and after Bill left, the offense changed a little bit. It got a little more stuff downfield. You could see that his influence coming in, and it was a breath of fresh air. It was fun.
Rice is there! Touchdown 49ers!
In 1989, Joe threw just 8 interceptions, the least he'd ever thrown as the 49ers starter.
Statistically, Joe Montana is having the best season of his career, and that is really saying something.
I would argue that offense and that tandem of tight end, 2 wide receivers, and the quarterback.
Touchdown 49ers!
I'd put us up against anybody ever.
The heart of the 49ers' success was a relationship between 2 all-time greats. They made each other better.
I asked Joe, did you ever get complacent? And he said, no, I always wanted more. And there's certain guys that just don't get caught up in the moment and they feel like there's more to come. That was that extra incentive for me to not get complacent, work a little bit harder.
You know, we thought we had a pretty good work ethic, and then whenever he caught a pass, he would run and score a touchdown. That was his work ethic. That's how he came. That's how he prepared. Wow, were we really doing what he was doing? Putting in that much more work? Here's a guy scoring touchdowns every time he catches the ball. Is it a coincidence that he's the NFL's all-time touchdown reception leader? The best thing about it, it created a couple more monsters. Because then you'd throw the ball to one of them, and they'd race down to the end zone. His work ethic became very contagious to the rest of the guys.
Joe Montana and Jerry Rice had an unspoken awareness of what each other was thinking on the field.
He did a very good job of reading coverages and knowing where the holes were. Because of his body language, it was easy to let the ball go early.
I'm just like a quarterback on the field. I'm reading exactly what Joe is reading. I know when it's man-to-man. I know when it's zone. I know when a guy is trying to, just cover me one-on-one. It's just up to me to beat that guy. And if I beat that guy, I know that Montana is going to throw me that football.
He's got Rice. He breaks loose to the 30. He's going to be gone. I don't think they can catch him.
It was all about believing in each other, trusting each other. And I think that's the reason why we had so much success, man. I knew he was coming to me, and it was just like doing a dance.
He has Rice as a touchdown.
This is the best offensive football team I have seen in a long time.
The relationship that I had built with Joe, I don't think there would ever be anything better than that.
With the best quarterback-receiver tandem in NFL history playing their best football, the 49ers' long-standing quarterback competition seemed over, at least on Sundays.
The two of us and Steve Bono, we used to have a game. It's crazy, but the top of the movable goalposts, there's, the tubes of the goalposts, which are probably, maybe 2.5 inches diameter. We would take rolls of tape that fit probably with very little room around them, and we'd throw them to the top and try to get them in. And it was super hard. But there we were every day. And I think that's a good metaphor for what we were trying to get accomplished on the field. We're doing something fun that was super hard. And let's do it right before practice and see if anyone can pull it off.
He's going for it. We got to get it.
It was always hurry up, and then if you were one behind, everyone, the guys behind were always throwing as fast as they could throw, trying to get another one in. I would never lose, let's put it that way. I might tie, but I'd stay there if I had to get 2 in.
Right now, I think Joe's up on everybody. He put one in today, so that gives him about 26 or 27. Steve Bono and Steve Young each have about 7 or 8 in there.
No matter the game, Joe was hard to beat in 1989. He led the 49ers to a league-best 14-2 record. As he poised himself for the playoffs, the quarterback who had grown up just outside of Pittsburgh was getting close to matching the feats of his hometown heroes.
The 49ers, trying to tie the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s, is the only team to win 4 in a decade. My partner is Terry Bradshaw, and of course Joe Montana. Terry, with the chance to equal your record of being the only quarterback to lead a team to 4 Super Bowls.
Well, people have asked me, well, Montana's going to tie your record, and Montana's going to beat. I said, that's great. My hat's off to them. They got a chance. Go do it.
Montana straight back to throw, looks over the field, goes for the end zone. Jerry Rice across the middle. Touchdown 49ers one more time.
In 2 playoff games, the 49ers outscored their opponents 71-16. Joe was nearly flawless.
Goes for the end zone. Jones, touchdown 49ers.
And the celebrating begins. The San Francisco 49ers are going to their 2nd consecutive Super Bowl.
What drove us to create the most rugged Honda vehicles yet? It's the courage to challenge convention. Rise to the challenge with the Honda Pilot and all-new Passport Trail Sport.
77,000 football fans who paid $125 a ticket are beginning to converge upon the largest indoor stadium in the world to witness the San Francisco 49ers take on the Denver Broncos in a modern-day battle in New Orleans, also known as Super Bowl XXIII.
In each of his previous 3 Super Bowls, Joe Montana beat a quarterback who was the league's most valuable player. This time, Joe was the MVP. But could a 33-year-old quarterback deliver again in the sport's biggest game?
We know we're the best team! Let's just go out and prove it today. We gotta play hard, play within your limits. Let's go out and kick some out of here.
Montana comes back across the middle, complete to Rice. Into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers after bouncing off a defender. Montana rolls to his right, throws to Brent Jones. Great catch. He's into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers.
Black 59 Razor. Black 59 Razor. 39-7.
Pump fake by Montana. Launches it for the end zone. Jerry Rice. Touchdown 49ers.
And again, the pass was right in the basket.
Joe Montana's career has been putting passes in the basket.
Yeah.
Montana drops back to throw. Looks over the field. Goes for the end zone. Jerry Rice. Touchdown 49ers.
Hey, this is complete domination.
Joe picked apart a defense that had given up the NFL's fewest points that season.
You could see the Broncos in their eyes knew that they couldn't compete.
One of the offensive linemen sits down and looks up at the scoreboard and goes,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
no way. No way. Yeah, there is way.
Montana puts it on the hip, comes back, throws for the end zone. Taylor, touchdown 49ers.
That's the same place. It's at most. It's the middle of the field. They're getting killed.
41-3 down.
I think we could have scored 80 Joe could have thrown for 10 touchdowns had we called him and kept going. Like nowadays, they don't pull guys out early. You know, they light up the stats. I wish we would have kept going.
They're taking Montana out now. They're putting in Steve Young.
This was the most fun I had in a Super Bowl game. You want to play till the end. You don't want to come out of games, especially games like this or in the Super Bowl.
5 touchdowns, a new Super Bowl single game record. Just been announced to the crowd and to us that Montana is the unanimous Super Bowl MVP for the 3rd time. And that's another record.
Congratulations for everything. You deserve it. You went through a lot. Girl here? Maybe. That's right. Now we're going to number 3 feet.
With a record 55 points, Joe and the 49ers produced the biggest blowout in Super Bowl history.
The boy is going to party tonight.
In 3 postseason games, the San Francisco 49ers outscored opponents by 100 points.
John, you and I have been around this game of pro football a long time. This might be the best football team I've ever seen.
This 49er team has everything, and I don't know that it isn't the best team that's ever been.
What drove us to create the most rugged Honda vehicles yet? It's the courage to challenge convention, the will to succeed, and the joy of conquering the toughest trails. Rise to the challenge with the Honda Pilot and all-new Passport Trail Sport.
From generations of old who dreamed and fought for our now, to the groundbreakers of today who paved the way for our greater tomorrow, Black excellence is prevalent wherever your eyes may gaze. Standing on the shoulders of heroes, we unite and strive to educate, entertain, and empower our world to embrace its diversity, because though we may be different, we can still stand side by side, for together we rise.
Happy 49er Day.
The San Francisco 49ers keep their date with the history books in one of the greatest football games ever played by one team.
Getting ready in the 49er locker room, Huey Lewis.
Just won the Super Bowl.
This is Eddie DeBartolo, and there's Huey Lewis right there, waiting for the team to come in.
Following the 49ers' victory in Super Bowl XXIV, team owner Eddie DeBartolo flew the entire organization to the island of Kauai for the ring ceremony.
Did he have to go to Hawaii? No. He could have done it anywhere, and he would have done it big. But what a tremendous way to go celebrate.
Can't believe I have to be here. It's really unfortunate. That was the funnest time I can remember. You know, everything was taken care of. We had lavish, luau's and dancing. It was a nutso party.
We don't have opportunities to get together as a team very often. Go to the beach or go play golf or tennis or whatever it might be.
Mr. Montana and I will be the dive masters for that. You dive with us tomorrow, you're diving with the sharks.
Well, he's got funny legs for a quarterback, doesn't he?
Last time I saw legs like that, they were hanging out of a nest.
34 years to get this development. This knows I need a lot of sunblock.
Is that it there?
Yeah.
While he was Joe Cool on the field, when called on stage, Joe was anything but.
All right, Joe, get up here, damn it. Get up here and make a fool of yourself. I'm wearing these silly shorts.
The guy who wanted to lip sync was now center stage.
They say it's all right. It's all right. Have a good time. 'Cause it's all right. Oh, it's all right. Don't wanna move it slow. I turn the lights low.
See how bad that is?
What's really funny about it is not that he was a bad singer, because he can sing and he's fine, is how nervous he was. I mean, here's a guy who's faced down how many Super Bowls, and it's just a banquet in-house for the 49ers. It's not a public gig or anything.
And it's all right.
And I mean, there is a look of pure panic in his eyes.
Oh, it's all right.
Unbelievable.
I think a couple more years, y'all stick to football. I really do.
Welcome to a rendezvous of champions. Welcome to a reunion. A reunion of that mythical San Francisco 49ers family. This is what the trip is all about. The Dean of Defense, Ronnie Lott. And Jennifer Montana's husband, Joe.
The one-time high school and college backup was now a 4-time Super Bowl champion. At 33, Joe Montana was not done. The goal for 1990 was to be the first quarterback to lead his team to 3 consecutive Super Bowls. On the series finale of Joe Montana, cool under pressure.
You know something's going on crazy when your head coach tells you, I want you to be gone before we come out of the team meeting.
If Joe stays now, we lose Steve.
Joe Montana, quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm going to show you I can still play.
I don't believe what I just saw! Montana Magic is back!
Eventually, the dream has to come to an end.